Well, I got more cars, and I got them sooner than I thought. Let's take a look. Layout has not changed much. I still don't know what I want to do with it. I might put the gas station over here and move those buildings there, but we'll see. For now, we'll continue with what I've been using and see how that goes. Well, found a lot of stuff. Some new castings have been hitting. I actually found the 1/43rd scale that I wanted to get from Hot Wheels. This is a newer concept car that was built. These rough road Porsches, they're kind of like the rally cars that they had back when they had factory cars in the 70s. So this is really cool. I wanted to get it. It'll fit good with the other 1/43rd scale cars. Good attention to detail. Price point's at $25, $26 price point. And it's got good detail to it. Metal base. So it's kind of unusual for 1/43rd scale cars to have a metal base, but they do it. It's like a giant premium vehicle. Take this off. I don't need this on anymore. And it's quite well done. Nice flat six, and has the really cool roll cage in there. Off-road tires and the Fuchs wheels, Porsche wheels, and it rolls really good. So yeah, that was a fun pickup. I might get the Aston Martin. They have a V8 Aston Martin on there that they just did, which I thought was kind of cool. So I might get that. Alright. Moving on. So, Greenlight store is open again. Now, they used to have an online business, and they called it the pub, the Diecast pub. They don't do that anymore online, but they still have a business. So they have an employee finally at Greenlight headquarters in their store and picked up some stuff. We'll take a look. First, it's this notchback Mustang that's a racing car. It was in this bag. So let's open this up. So they sell loose cars there, which is cool. Stuff that they do, you don't know. Some of the pre-production stuff, it'll say not for sale on the windshield. Those are behind a case that you can buy, and they're more expensive. But they have a lot of, like, test run cars, cars that take pictures for photos, for advertising, whatever, trade shows. So they have a lot of loose cars. And this was one of them. There's kind of like in a run. I don't think these are correct cars because they have two of the fat tires, and all of them are like that. But I got this kind of like for parts and stuff. It's kind of funny with the fat tires on both. They make good weld drag light wheels, so these will probably be really good on other projects. I like the equipment though on this car, the drag spoiler and all that. So this is pretty cool. Probably leave it alone for now. Let's look at the engine, see if there's anything fun in there. And it's just your standard 5-liter engine with no mods on it whatsoever. A car like this probably would have quite a bit of work done to it. We've talked about the notchback in many episodes, so check out the channel for more information on that vehicle. For all you new people, I used to own one of these cars, and it was set up very close to this. Just was a little bit more street, less drag. But I did have cowl hood, notchback. It was an 89, and I had work done to the subframe. Had full suspension on the front. Had K-member removed, tubular. Had everything. Long tube headers. We did the gears in the back. So it was a fun car. Stick shift, of course. So these are cool. I like the LX cars. More of an LX person than a GT guy. But that's just me. Alright. Another car we found on the pegs. Well, before we get to that, let's look at the other loose stuff. This is a nice clean van that they were selling. They had like a couple of these on the shelf, so I got one of these loose. They're cheap. They're like a couple bucks, $3 to get the loose cars. Most of them had no damage, but you had to pick them up and look at them. Now, we've talked about the Econoline van too. This is kind of like a second generation Ford van. And then after this was done, they had the van kind of platform that they used all the way to today with the Econoline. Let's see, the engine's a little offset. Majority of the servicing on this vehicle was done inside. There was a small access hood, but just kind of fluids there. Most of the work was done on that cover, and there it is right there. So yeah, cool van. Econoline bus. All right, let's look at another loose car real quick. I already looked at this on camera before, but I took the tires off this and put it on here because I couldn't find anything that fit very nicely except these tires, so we're gonna use that. But this was a cheap thing to get tires from, so I'm happy to find it. But yeah, we've looked at these before, and this is another good car for parts probably, so this will go in the parts pile. I shouldn't really even have it in the parking lot, but sometimes if you get loose cars, they're good for parts. Lots of Greenlight stuff, so we're going to do a lot of Greenlight. But here's a couple M2s. This one I found on the pegs. Nice early Econoline, so it's good we had the old one. So this is the first one. And 1960, I think was the first year, 61. Maybe it was 59. But this type of vehicle, so they were doing panel wagon cars prior to this, which was a light duty enclosed vehicle. Wasn't an open pickup truck bed where you'd have commercial use for it. But also they found out that making it a wagon was also useful, so it had a dual purpose. This one's really sweet. It has kind of these cool orange and gray torque thrust wheels, and it's hammered down, so it looks good. Nice clean little van. M2 does these vans really well, plus it's a unique casting. No one really does them. Hot Wheels did the pickup truck, but that's it. I've pretty much, from what I've seen. So I'm glad that we found that. Zoom in on it here real quick. Also, if you want to use parts, these vans are good to swap stuff with. If you want to lower one of the vans. 9,000 pieces. And it's released 89. There's a OBS truck, I think, that's released with this. Or maybe it's a square body. It's one of those. So yeah, good to have that. Alright, so just getting through some stuff before we hit the green light. We're going to do this pretty quickly because a lot of this castings we've looked at before. This is just new decos on them. So I found the burnt copper version A. This is the kind of the stock version B that they did. And it's in the green, so wanted to find it. Again, this was a soul car I found just by itself. Just by itself. It had none of the other cars, and the other cars are up here. So another big block wagon. Tires kind of messed up on the rims. Not very clean. It's probably why it was left on the peg. We'll probably find some more of these soon. Hopefully. Prices have definitely been creeping upwards. Although they spiked at Walmart, and then they kind of came down a little bit. So hopefully they'll keep it at that current level. Again, just getting what I want. Don't really need to complete the set on those or anything. Mainly with Auto World, we're looking at the cars castings that I already have that I want to complete or get close to it. So definitely the square body trucks, wagons, and then the new Plymouth fuselage car. The fuselage cars are coming out, so they should be hitting real soon. You can go check out the Auto World website if you want to see the pre-release photos. They look really good. So I'm talking about like the Fury 2, I think it is. Sport Fury, that kind of car. And they're also doing the 68 Coronet car, Roadrunner, that type of vehicle. So that's going to be nice. They're going to do the Coronets as well. So RT, that kind of thing. So that'll be nice to see. And we've looked at these wagons before, so nothing too crazy on that. All right, keep going. This is a casting that I've been wanting to find for a long time, and I found it. This is at the Greenlight store. I actually saw another one of these at the antique store too, but it was a lot more money. So it comes with the figure, which these figures are plastic. They're not metal, which is funny that M2 diorama figures are metal. It's kind of unusual. Hobby Shop Series 13. This is a while ago. We also found the Cadillac, which we'll look at here in a minute. But this is an 89 Taurus. This car came out with this body style, 85, 86. And it really moved the car design forward. This ushered in the jelly bean cars, the cars that kind of people forgot about or want to forget about. And it was for 30 years after this car. Cars nowadays are starting to get some edges back into them, but for a long time, this is the car that kind of started a lot of that in America. We had these type of headlights and treatments with aerodynamics in Europe for a while. But America was slower to do it with the styling, and we finally did it with the Ford Taurus. Wildly successful vehicle, Motor Trend Car of the Year, million units, all that stuff. So it's a very, very popular vehicle. Just recently, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you view what's going on, no longer available. So they discontinued Taurus and its counterpart, the Police Interceptor sedan, because that was a very popular vehicle. Probably more popular, just like the Crown Vic for fleet, than it was for a personal vehicle. Some of the technology lives with the Lincoln cars, but everything's going to small SUV. This is an excellent version, and again, this is like generation 1 of the Taurus. I think 91, 92, we got the refresh of this platform, and then they totally redid it in 96, which turned into a super jelly bean car, if you want to call it that. So, strong V6. I think they also had 4-cylinder power as well. They had the hot car, the SHO. We've talked about the SHO Taurus. 6-cylinder V6 transverse with Yamaha induction and heads. So, kind of a cool partnership. And that's really one of the coolest looking engines in North America. Like, very exotic looking with the individual intake runners. Take a look at that. Google image that. SHO engine. They did a good job on this vehicle. Wheel covers the whole 9 yards. It looks amazing in a parking lot because it definitely seems like a car that'd be parked out here. So another good period correct vehicle. You could do, especially on this layout, you can kind of do decades, and so that'd be kind of fun. Maybe we'll do a Instagram series of different decades, see if I can compile some stuff. This would be that growing up time frame, 80s, 90s. So there's plenty of cars to choose from. Moving on from that series, we got another cool car, and I'm going to break it up too a little bit with a Ertl maybe. So another Hobby Shop Series 13, another car I couldn't really find ever. This time a year or two ago, Greenlight was definitely starting to slow down its releases, or in terms of finding them on the shelves. Myers pulled back a little bit. So is some other retailers. They're kind of consolidating. Probably because prices go up and everything, and turnover goes. And there's a lot of with these sets, because they always come out in 6. A lot of peg warmers. Greenlight is definitely not immune to having peg warmers, just like every other brand. And there's a few of them, especially when the price creeps up there. It really becomes difficult to justify having these cars on the shelves, burning up the space. Because there are only about 1 or 2 of them get sold out, and everything else is there. This is one of the popular castings from Greenlight. It's amazing. We've talked in depth about this casting and this vehicle when they came out a year or 2 ago, or 3. And so check back again. I offer my catalog, my YouTube catalog. Check it out. Take a look at it. Gas pump, but I don't really see it. It looks kind of generic. It's gold though, so it'll look good with some gas pumps up there at the shop. This is a 72 Coupe Deville car. Big block Cadillacs in these typically, like 472, 500s, things like that. I think 427, 472s, and 70s, things like that. Just a tremendous casting. I've talked about this in the past. I'll usually put clear coat on this so it doesn't rub off. The chrome on Greenlight, especially on the hard edge stuff, will come off with handling. So it's up to you how much you handle your vehicles if you want to go through that step. I handle them quite frequently. So unless something's in the package, it's probably going to get messed with. There's some stuff on the wall that doesn't get a lot of use, but the Cadillacs, I like to bring them down and put them together every so often and see how big the collection is getting. It's good that the last few years Auto World and Greenlight have been doing these cars, the big cars. They're going to be branching off now to the Chrysler cars, which is excellent. We've had the Buick wagons, but we haven't had the cars, and it'd be nice to see Electras and all those type of vehicles, the Rivieras. We're going to see the big Chryslers, but the four-door Imperial would be nice. They're doing coupe still. They did a four-door Fleetwood or Sedan DeVille, so that's good. But there's so many cars. Everybody knows we're waiting for all of them, and we'll get them. A lot of variety. All right, so last of the Hobby Shop Series 13, kind of filling in some gaps that I needed to take care of. We also found another one to fill the gap, which is this. So Antique Store came in clutch. This is sold out all over the place, and so is the Ford or the fire department, New York Fire Department ambulance. But I got the New York City EMS because this is definitely more on scene a lot, and it's sweet, but it's hard to find. These were like in an exclusive. Hobby Shop exclusive. They weren't on First Responders regular release. They kind of went out of the gate with putting out these cars first, and then they did some of the random cities after that. But New York City EMS is going to go great with all the fire department New York stuff. NYPD cars. This layout, also another. Excited to put some of those vehicles on this with maybe one of the Central Command dioramas. See how that looks with the gas station. I think that'll be kind of cool. Now, I looked at this Ford ambulance before. Typically, these would have had the diesel engine, regular cab with the box, and I'm pretty sure that you couldn't go between the two on the setup. Greenlight put in their kind of their softer tire on there. They didn't put the big, huge tires that they have, so it looks okay for now. That's cool. Nice even number there. Very low. too. I wonder it's so clean. So that's cool. I pulled a really low serial number. I like that. I think the lowest one in my collection is either a 1 or a 2. And I think I've shown that off too in the past. It was the Gulf van trailer set. Yeah. Yeah, it has like a box trailer. That thing, I pulled a really low number. I have a carded one or blistered one. So that's cool. Number 7. So this will be very, very special to the collection. It's definitely scored out with this. Yeah, these are awesome. Awesome deco. So they did a great job. One of the only companies, Greenlight's one of the only companies doing these like licensed liveries with just doing a good job. And I think they paid attention to the people doing the customs over the years to really figure out that emergency vehicles, there's a good market for them. I love them. So I'm glad that they're doing it. And they have like Detroit, Houston. They haven't seen anything out of LA yet, but and some like southern states like Virginia. So they're working through the big cities. I'm sure we'll see a Chicago. This also could double as a police vehicle as well, because they had a boxed kind of vehicle like this also, like bomb squad and stuff. So hopefully they do that. But sweet. Now we're gonna look at another awesome Ford truck here in a minute. Let's put this over here. I'll put the emergency vehicles on this row. Row 11 through 14. Keep the other cars here. All right, so first responders, 94 Ford F-350 EMS. And again, hobby exclusive. So those are going to be hard to find unless they do another run. Let's look at a fire department. It's a FDNY truck. Wow. So this has been another one that people have been getting. And I think this one, recent release, I think the Ford was a year ago almost, or the ambulance was a year ago. But this one's going to be awesome with the fire department vehicles I have. Move this over a little bit. There we go. So we're going to open this blister up real quick. Greenlight has been making their blisters with a little bit thinner plastic, which is nicer. You're not busting blades to get into it. But at least with the last ones I've been cracking open. So really cool looking thing there. Might be able to take this off and put it on one of the buildings to make it look like it's a firehouse. So pumper truck with the older brick front end. So the older OBS body style. So these are the tires I was talking about. Again, really no big improvement on them. They're a little bit better, but they're still not the best tires. Wheels are fine. I like the wheels. So let's take a look. The mini pumper truck with the older style graphics for fire department. 80s, late 80s, 90s graphics. This is like did they even tell us? Yeah, 87. Yeah. Almost forgot how old the front end was. Yeah, so 1987 truck. So yeah, exact. So this is the cool. These are neat graphics. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Can barely read it, but there it is. F-350 truck XL. Let's see if it's a metal base. Yes, it is. So we're lucky there. So this just needs really a tune-up with the wheels. Everything else looks pretty good. We got our lights there. Interesting. That is blue. So I have to look that up, see if that's real. But I love the color. The red's a little bit of a different red than the later ones, but similar. Yeah, that's cool. We're going to have to adjust the axle. Axle's a little bit up, so we'll fix that. This is metal as well. They didn't skimp. This is not plastic. So, all metal. This is going to be a very, very hard truck to find, I'm assuming. It looks sweet. So, we're going to have a lot of fire department trucks to kind of get a picture of with this mat. I think it'll be fun to do that soon. Okay, so some more New York City trucks. Let's look at some more. So, we're going to do an NYPD. Of course, we got to do our favorite scheme, the blue and white. I love it. So it's a 90 Scottsdale Suburban. It's a 3/4 ton truck. Typical of the time frame. A lot of Suburbans were used in the law enforcement for New City. Tons of Suburbans. Always see tons. Because they always have a lot of people they'd have to go travel with. And bring people to scenes. So it'd be good to have something that carries everybody at once. And a Suburban, I mean, you could do 8 easily, but more than that in a pinch. Look at this thing. So white walls, I don't know. They probably found some picture of these with a white wall, but I don't know if it necessarily was always on the trucks. The problem with these Suburbans that Greenlight does is the wheels, so they're too big. It's too bad. The tires, excuse me. Tires are too big for this. Now, what's our alternative? Well, we've looked at different bunch of alternatives, and I've done wheel swaps, and that's basically what the solution is for this. But let's just experiment real quick. Fortunately, I used a huge tire, or the wheel. They don't use this type of wheel, so I don't even know. Yeah, it's not even a try going on there. So it definitely needs... Let's see, let's flip this around. Make it black wall. Looks a little bit better. Maybe we'll do a black wall on it. I just can't imagine the truck having white walls, but whatever. Anyway, so the what do we call it? The hubcaps. Very nice. Very, very nice. Might want to put some clear on those, because those will rub right off if you're hard on them. I haven't looked up MU, what that is. Someone might want to just do the research for me and tell me in the comments, if you would be so kind. Would it be mounted unit? Would I be right about that? I don't know. $52.95. That's got the cop shot or crime stoppers or whatever it is. Bumper sticker. Yeah. Yeah. Fuel injected. What a vehicle, huh? These are sweet. So again, this will look good with the NYPD cars. I got tons of them. And I love the blue and white scheme. This was a hard one to find. I haven't seen this out in the wild, or maybe I did. I just didn't buy it, but I had to do it. And this is the collection. We're on Series 46 already. I'll probably get this for the collection because it's California Highway Patrol. I haven't seen this. Huh. I'd like to see what that looks like. All right. Illinois State Police. Sometimes I get that because of the area we're from. So, police car in the emergency services row. Okay, one more cool truck here. Another, and they don't even call out what this is. I think this is, we'll have to look. I can't know if it's housing or if it's Suffolk County, something like that. But another, it's an 85 Suburban. So this would have been non-fuel injected, carbureted with a 3 or 4 speed automatic. I think 85 they had the lockups, yeah. You got to go back before 80 to get the 3-speed automatics. It comes with a police officer in this hobby shop. So that'll be good. Help take care of everybody. This is Hobby Shop 16. So these are the vehicles in 16. This one I got at the Greenlight store. The camper shell truck is kind of cool. It's a two-tone OBS Ford brick nose, so might get that. This has the push bar on it. Here's our officer. Does he have a cup? What's he wearing? What is he doing here? He's got his cup. Is he drinking? Or is that his flashlight? Nope, sound drink. Yep. It's like Freddie Mercury. There he is. Here you go, bud. You stand over here. Okay. So what is this? I was trying to read it. Oh, it's Transit Police. Yeah. That's cool. Again, the original kind of logo. And we didn't use white walls on this. I kind of like the way the tires look on this truck. This is sweet looking. So this would have been parked right outside the subway. Or the Port Authority, all that kind of stuff. Sweet. It's got the reverse police right there for when you're looking at it in your rearview mirror. I miss those details back in the day. So this is a GMC Suburban. What a rig. Got the barn door. What does our police car have? Yeah, barns. They typically would. It's a little bit more versatile than having to wait for the glass to go down and all that to open it. Man, these are sweet. What a rig. I like this thing. This thing looks tough. It's got the beauty rings on it too. Yeah, it's nice. This one would probably look good if it was lifted. Here, let's fix that tire. Yeah, we should lift this a little bit. Keep those rims and tires. And off we go. Oh, yeah. What's our serial number? 8761. What we got here? Is it etched in? No. Yeah, it's etched. 3729. Okay. We got two more to look at, and then we're going to call it a day. Oh, sorry for all the crunchy noises. All right. This one I also found at the Greenlight store. I thought this was really cool looking. Look how nice the colors are on this truck. So this is SD Trucks 19. Severe duty SD. I don't know. So we've done Workstar. Yeah, the Workstar. We got the aviation unit fuel truck from NYPD, and I also have, I think, another one somewhere. Oh yeah, another Workstar rack body like this. But I just like the wheels, the color of the wheels and everything. I'm gonna do a little bit of detailing. We can get the black filled in there, and also we'll get the rest of the black under here, and then that'll look good. Also, the mirror was loose on this one, so we'll have to get that fixed. But other than that, very good vehicle. The rack doesn't come off unless you yank it off, so I'm going to leave it alone. It will look good like a flatbed too, so I might do that. This needs to get glued up. This is also a little loose. This is all plastic back here, unfortunately. But the chassis is metal. And so is the cab. This thing barely fits on here. Let's gotta give us some room. There we go. I like the headlight detail on this truck. It looks good. I mean, it's a nice looking color. I like the white wheels. And it's got a nice little back end there. You can step up on it. So I don't know. I might take the rack off and make it a flatbed. Just don't know yet. I don't know what I'll put on it. But I think it makes a good truck for this general area for now. Rolls pretty good too. Got to get some of the tires off and redo them. There's some flashing on those tires, so they're not perfect. You could see that one's all over the place. So it just needs a disassembly, and we'll get it fixed up. Looks like we can do Phillips head on this, so we can actually take the whole truck apart and fix everything without getting glue where you don't want it. It's better to just take it apart and redo it than it is to kind of fiddle with it. So I also might, this is all modeler's trick, but we could drill the end of that exhaust pipe and it'll look much more realistic. So I might do that too, because there's a lot of good detail in this vehicle. One last fun one. I think that's it. Yeah, we're kind of buzzing through these again. They're kind of castings that have been out, except maybe for these two. But I found American Muscle. What a deal! It was $650, and these are nice cars. So I almost bought a '73 Charger, but this one I wanted. I love the. This is a split bumper car, so it's just awesome. The '70 Z28, second gen Camaro. Everybody loves these. It comes with the kind of like the vintage ad. This is like vintage ad back in. Let's look at the date on this. Is it the 2000s or the 90s? Yeah, 2000. So I knew these were late 90s, early 2000s, and this is kind of in the market. They were kind of doing this before the market was kind of aware that 164th could be something other than a Matchbox. And so they were testing the waters. These sold, but they weren't. I mean, you had to go to like Toys R Us or you had to go to like hobby stores. They weren't kind of like stuff you'd found in Kmart or anything. I can't remember them like that. Oh, wow. This is a really good casting. I had to look at it before I put on camera. What a cool pedestal. So it comes with the card art. This is kind of cool. They need to do this with Greenlight stuff. This is awesome. I don't know if it's extra licensing to do that, but it's cool. All right. What do we got? Let's get this in a place where I can actually move around. So Z28 car, hypo car, but didn't have a big block so this was like a car that they're racing. So Z28 was really quite a package back then. You had a really great 302 Chevy or 305 Chevy, really, really warmed over. You had dual exhaust, usually a stick shift, the high performance suspension. You had the rally wheels. And a lot of them did deluxe interior, so you had a really nice and pointed interior as well. Man, this is sweet. Yeah, I even like the back spacing on the tires. So it rolls really well. Yeah, it's got the good 302 in it. Pretty sure it's got the 302, isn't it? 350, 307. So I'm pretty sure it was like that with the Chevelles, but I don't know. The Z28 maybe had the 350s and everything, the 427s. I'll put it down below what it had. I know that you had the high performance motor in the previous Camaro race car. So I thought it was in this one too. But this here is some of the info. Z28 350. Alright, so there you go. 360 horse. It had a 396. That was the big block. Okay. Again, I forget more than I remember. Wow, this is a sweet casting. So I'm going to adjust the axles slightly, but not much. Plastic base, but glued in. It's done like a model kit, but it has opening parts. Wow, what a car. This is sweet. I like this thing. Let's back it up to look at it with the other vehicles. Oh yeah, rolls real good. A little bit of a wobble on that one, but not bad. So, happy with the Camaro. We put it on its old thing. Look at it's got the tires made a mark on it. It's been on there so long. It's pretty cool. I wish I had more of those styles of displays. Well, we found something kind of fun today. We found antique store stuff, and we got Greenlight stuff, and we got all sorts of stuff. Thanks for watching. We got more coming. But wanted to show some cool trucks, cars, some old stuff, big stuff, fast stuff, vintage stuff, all that stuff. When you're kind of bored waiting for the next video, just go back and look at the other videos on the channel. There's a whole bunch of them at this point, and also more content on Instagram. Everybody watching, please subscribe and like the video. It helps me reach out to more people that like stuff that we like, and we can share the passion together. And anything you want to talk about or see, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's other cars coming. I did do a post on the new IXO 164 scale line coming. They kind of made a splash with their big trucks. They did the big rigs. They do 143rd scale, but they scaled it back to 164th. And they're going to be putting out square body trucks and some cars. So getting ready, excited for that. So hopefully that's coming soon. Thanks for watching. All new subscriptions. More to come. Till next time.